Hey again, YouTube. Today is unboxing. It is a custom knife from Mark Varga. He's Varga Knives on bladeforums.com. Now, I had seen pictures of this model. He calls it Vesper. And, well, it actually didn't have a name the first time I saw it. And I had told him I wanted to be on his books and get one of the first models he made, and he actually told me that that I wouldn't like that first knife. I mean, he has, after all, been just I guess he just started, and he told me that he wasn't comfortable with. Here's a little note to Mark. It's got, okay, model, Vesper. Just shy of 4 inches long as far as the blade, TPM 154. 1/4 inch stainless pivot. 1/8 of an inch press fit hardened stop pin. Heat treated by Peters, that's good. Bearings, carb clip. SK standoffs. Carbonized lock base. I think he's got all the boxes checked off as far as what I'm looking for. Titanium frame lock. I am a titanium frame lock junkie. I use this knife to open that. This is Red Horse Knives Hellraiser. Name escaped me for a bit there, but this is made by Red Horse Knives. Ed is the guy who makes these. I guess I should do a review on this in another video, but this is kind of similar as far as construction, except this has AKS bearings, and it still is CPM 154 titanium frame lock, sculpted clip. Yeah, I'll do one later, but for now we have the Vesper. Now, one thing that drew me to this knife was the attention to the design. I always try to look for knives that are designed to look good, whether they're opened or closed. You know, some guys or some knife makers, they have some pretty extreme or radical designs that you wouldn't know what to expect when you open the blade, or when you unfold the knife, as it were. But this reminds me of, and when I first saw it, it reminded me of like a laconical profile with kind of like the smooth spine, you know, flowing nicely into the handles. But he has this really appealing, clean look to it, and oh, I like that finish that he puts on here. It looks like an orange peel, or oh, smooth. But oh, yeah, that is smooth. Oh. Detent is, let's see there, pretty early. It's not at all very hard to unlock. It's not stiff at all, despite that not being too thin, that like I've seen a lot of people do. And I like that, although, you know, there will be arguments as to the pros and cons of having the lock bar cut out and milled inside or outside. I definitely find that if it's in the inside, there are no snags to be made when you're pulling it out of your pocket, you know, as far as the clip, because usually the cutouts, like if this were on the outside, that would really kind of cause some inadvertent or advertent contact with the seam in your pocket while you're pulling it out. But since it's smooth out here, nothing to catch. That's a nice sculpted titanium clip. Kind of matches, well, it matches the rest of the knife. Oh, that is smooth. Yep, that's out of the box, out of the packaging. This is the first time I've seen the knife, just like you guys have. You know, some people unbox it, put it back in, and do an unboxing video. I'm guilty of doing that sometimes, but this is my first look, and I would say your first look as well. You can also open it. Oh, the thumb hole is a little small, a little on the small side. Well, maybe because my fingers are a little bit on the muscular side. No, I got fat fingers, let's face it. But it's a little small for me, but it works. And you know, you're just going to flip it open anyway. So, yeah, action is nice and smooth. The tang is nice and smooth. It's I guess just a straight angle instead of like a radius cutout like some people do nowadays. He's got nice jimping on here, jimping. Yeah, that works. Not that I really use my knives that hard, although I do use them quite often. I like this really soft contouring he did over here. Like, it's not like a defined, you know, cutout, but it's a little bit more organic. Like in contrast to something like this is what I mean. You know how like there's a very sharp demarcation from where it's milled for the thumb. This is nice and rounded, smooth. Now, he says this is sharpened or bevel. Ooh. Yeah, it's beveled to 18 degrees per side. It is a full flat ground. Let's see that. It's a full flat ground. So this should be a pretty good slicer, despite the thickness. I believe this is a 1 point. Let's see. Yeah, it is a 0.16 inch thickness. What does that come out to? Like 3/16 or something? Somewhere around there. But yeah, I mean, despite that, it's nicely ground flat. Wow. It's nicely ground flat. It's a really nice stone wash it did on there. It's a very light acid etch, I would say, although I'm not too familiar. He wanted to disclose that his maker's mark, right there, as you can see, was crooked. I don't know if you can see that right there. Come on. Hello. I don't know if you can see that. He said his maker's mark was crooked, so he knocked off a little bit off the price. That doesn't bother me at all. That is a pretty slick maker's mark too. I like that. But yeah, overall, I can say I'm very happy with this knife. I would say this is on par with a lot of mid-techs, I guess. Well, although this is a custom, I told him what I wanted. It just happened that he had one that he was making that had my specifics built into it. The orange peel, this, the stone wash, lightly etched, and full flat ground. I think the first one he did a giveaway, and I'm not sure if it was a full flat grind, but you know, I figured for the thickness of the spine, I mean, the full flat grind would be best as far as if you were going to use it to slice. And it turns out the next one he was making had pretty much everything I had in mind, so I would say that this is sort of customized for me. But overall, very happy with the knife. Let's see, I can't find anything to nitpick about at first glance. I mean, this is the first ever folder he has sold. So, it's not, I guess, I mean, it's always a learning process, I guess, for these knife makers. But this is something that caught my eye because the design is very clean. It's got nice lines, both open and closed. It's almost I'd say, well, also the orientation of the pocket clip, I think, is pretty important. There are some knives that come out from the makers with the pocket clips like all the way to the side, or I guess this is functional in a way that it acts like an over travel stop or an over travel mechanism, because it gets really stiff like past this point or to this point. So I guess there's no need for like an over travel disc. But yeah, this is, see, lightly, yeah, it clicks. This is wonderfully executed. Alright, Mark, I think you have a winner on your hands if you're watching this. Definitely everything I had hoped I would get from you. And once again, the knife maker is Mark Varga, Varga Knives and Blade Forms. Do check him out. Keep tabs on his work. He's coming out with some pretty cool stuff. Well, as far as knife design, I think he has this down pat. I like it a lot. Alright, until next time, thanks for watching my video.